Thank you very much. My name is Dr. Abdul Ningi, and I represent Bauchi Center of Bauchi State. Mr. President, this motion cannot come at a better time than now. Mr. President, this is a very, very sad story, sad development. This is a line that was constructed no more than 6 years ago. And this is just the southern corridor. You look at the times of derailment, over 11 derailments from 2023 to date. We are not even comparing the derailment of the northern corridor between Abuja and Kaduna. This is a summary, the tragic summary, Mr. President, of Nigeria as a nation that seeks development. Billions have been spent to construct these lines with the intention of bringing succor to our people. If you look at the road infrastructure in Nigeria and the nature of it, it was a welcome development when the then government of the day began to nurse this idea of railway construction. But Mr. President, ab initio, from the beginning of that project to the completion of that project, we have not, as a country, we have not taken into consideration what went into that project first and foremost, and whether or not the lines laid were the top range lines that we've seen in other climes. If you compare the amount of money spent on railways in Nigeria between 2019 to date and other clients, Mr. Senate President, you will now know that we are not moving an inch. Mr. President, this is a huge indictment to even the National Assembly as an entity. How long, how many times have our committees actually take time to oversight some of these projects? This is about the 11th derailment. Have we had any report except today by a committee that is silent to oversight this project? Mr. President, the answer is no. Also, this is an indictment to various anti-graft agencies that we have in this country. The quantum of money spent and the terrible, tragic derailments that happens day in, day out. Mr. President, nobody seems to care about it. It's costing lives, it's costing property, it's costing a lot of money. Tell me, how do we get another money to do these lines again? Considering the fact that all the two lines, the southern corridor, the northern corridor, money were borrowed to do it. But Mr. President, our bureaucrats, our experts compromise the standards. Look at Abuja, Kaduna, every 1-2 months. Nothing works. Even the escalators in the railway stations, they don't work. Nobody cares whether it works or not. So certainly this is a very sad development, and I don't know where we are going as a nation if we continue to borrow money. We didn't use petroleum money or any other money to develop these lines. We borrowed money from Chinese, and yet this is a tragedy we are harvesting. I think, Mr. President, we have to be more serious. We have to be more focused. Those who are responsible, the agency, the railway agencies, the Ministry of Transport, must come to account. Because we can't just allow all these things to be happening. A lot of times they say, President has created ministry and created ministers. And the president cannot do all these things at a time because there are agents that are saddled with this responsibility. Even taking this matter to committee to do an investigation is neither here nor there. Because the committee, ab initio, is actually saddled to oversight it. Where is the report? When did they travel? So, Mr. President, I think we need to be more serious, and I commend Senator Dapinone. These are things that will make a difference. These are things that will make democracy tick. Because without parliament, Mr. President, democracy doesn't survive. We have to do what we ought to do and question those who are responsible for this sin. Mr. President, I so second.